Hey familia, welcome to In Your Business with Dr. Alex, where we get all up in your business and your health. And today I have an amazing guest, Angel, and she is just a badass woman that I can't wait for you all to meet in the business world, let me tell you. So if you are watching, we're streaming to a couple different platforms today. So we've got YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter over this way, and everything's going to be uploaded as a podcast later on, so definitely you can check out anything later. But as you're tuning in, definitely say hi. We'd love to give you a shout out. Let us know if you're watching this live or on the replay, and this is very interactive, so any questions that come up, feel free to drop them in the chat. And I'm going to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Eric McKee. He's a realtor out here in Northeast Ohio. We thank him so much for being a sponsor for this show. I'm going to put his info up. Awesome. So definitely reach out to him if you have any moving or realty needs in Northeast Ohio. And I am going to bring up our beautiful guest here, Miss Angel. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Here she comes.
Hey.
Hi, Angel. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. And like I said, anybody has any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat or just say hi so that we can give you a little shout out and say hello. It's almost Christmas time, girl. Oh my goodness. So where are you joining us from?
I'm in sunny Southern California.
Oh my goodness. And I'm in Ohio, and there's a terrible snowstorm today. And like I was telling you, like I'm praying that the power does not go out because it's crazy outside right now.
And I see Miss Stephanie Smith. Hello, Miss Stephanie.
Yes. Hi, Stephanie. Thank you for joining us. Like I said, any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat. So Miss Angel, tell us all about you. I told you I don't like to really do intros because I love for the guests to share what they want about themselves. So definitely give us a little bit about you.
Okay, so I am a national risk and claims professional. I have a master's in executive leadership. I am an entrepreneur. I own Beauty and Beast in Business, which actually started out as a sole proprietorship as just a way for me to get some gals together as we were doing some mentoring, and quickly kind of accumulated a amazing community, which transitioned into Beauty and Beast in Business, where we provide events. We do it for women as a career development, as a self-love and self-health, as well as having a safe space to really talk about things like menopause, talk about caring for our elderly parents as we're going through work, talk about a lot of things that we don't talk about in the business world. And my second market is also within the insurance and risk, which is co-ed, and we give continuing education as well as career development. So that's kind of a highlight.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And so how long have you been with Beauty and Beast in Business? How long has that been going on for?
So altogether, it's been 5 years. When I was a sole proprietor, it was my tagline on all my t-shirts. And then about a year and a half, 2 years ago, it transitioned into an LLC as the name of the business.
Oh, I love that. And so you spoke a little bit about how you're creating events and thing meetings for women, and you kind of talked about the self love and the help, and dealing with aging parents, and those are like all the mom issues, right? All the issues that we face as women as we get up in our careers, but then we still have a life, right? That's still happening right along with it. And what have you found have been like some really standout results or feedback that you've got from some of your meetings that you've had or some of the events that you've put together for this?
I get a lot of feedback, and one is gratitude for a safe space,
Mm,
a feeling like they can actually show up as themselves versus showing up as what the business world expects of them.
mm,
Talking about topics that we don't talk about but are affecting a great number of women. Um,
mhm,
those of us who may be between, let's say, 35 and I'm going to say 50.
mhm,
We may be in a spot where we're raising children as
mhm,
well as caring for elderly. So you
mhm,
have a double, a double-sided commitment in your family while you're still trying to work. Some women have actually had to take themselves out of a work element and work remote from home in order to
mhm,
be able to take care of so many of these things. And that causes stress on our body. That causes an emotional loneliness, I think, that nobody talks about.
mm,
And within that, we also talk about relationships, safety. When COVID was going on, everything was shut down. We've seen an increase of spousal abuse, of emotional
mhm,
abuse. And that increased on women as all of the stress was coming through. And because people were at home, it was easier to hide and
mm,
there was no place for people to turn. So having some virtual coffee and chats, having
mhm,
what I say an open door policy virtually where people can call me, email me, text me, message me on LinkedIn. We had women who were able to contact me and say, I need to remove myself, safely remove myself from, this relationship. So there's a lot of things that go on when we talk about women in business, and it's not an open forum because I think there's so many times where there is, I'm going to say judgment, right?
mm,
Judgment of,
mhm,
well, they're older women, they should know better, or they're educated or they're experienced. And so for me, it's very important not to put judgment on anybody, women or
mhm,
men, right? It's not about putting judgment. It's about taking a look at what are their needs, and if I can't help them, do I have resources that
mhm,
I can refer them out to? Because the whole goal is how do we make people in general, but especially women, for me, that is my purpose and my passion is how do we
mhm,
make them safe? How do we help them empower themselves? Not feel like we're coming in as saviors, but actually just
mhm,
providing them the support and the resources they need so that they can be financially empowered. They know how to take care of their money. They know how to remove themselves out of a bad situation. They understand how to
mm,
either raise their kids or help their parents and
mm.
know that there's resources out there that can help them with that. And so that's a lot of what comes out of some of our safe space discussions.
Oh, I love that. And so much of that is so needed. And that's what I love about my show and what I'm building with my show is, we get in your business, like the in your business part, like the stuff that people really don't want to talk about, but that is eating you up, that is really affecting your life and how you perform and your health and your relationships and all of that. And one of the things that you touched on was, women when we reach a certain age and we think we're educated and people think we have all of our shit together and like we're supposed to know it all, we're supposed to have all the answers, and why are you having these problems? And one of the things that I really pride myself on is how I can take really like complex medical terms, situations, and really break them down into something that's easily digestible, easily understandable for many people to understand and consume and to relate to. And
Yeah.
so I think like health literacy is one of those big things where, people think just because you might have money, just because you have a degree, just because you're at a certain place in your life, that you understand things that might be happening with your body. Or, if your relative gets sick with something, your mom, your dad, whatever the situation is, like you're just supposed to know because, oh, well, you're a lawyer, you own your own business, you own this and this. Like there's these like preconceived things that we have about people. And what I found so much working over 2 decades in healthcare is that sometimes it's those people that are very affluent, that are very up there, that seem like they have all their shit together. They know the least about their own body and what's happening and things like that. So that's why I like where you're creating safe spaces to talk about that, because I'm all about that too. That's I bring to what I do is, safe space to really voice your concerns. Like, I don't understand this. I don't understand this. And I don't understand how it's affecting me in this way, or even bringing light to that. So I love that that's so much of what you do with with the events and things that you're putting together. Excuse me, caramba. I was so sick yesterday. Oh my goodness. I couldn't even like barely get out of bed. I was like, I got to get up for Angel today.
Well, I hope you feel better soon. Yeah, I think it's the
Oh, that's
weather. We're in flu season right now. Cold
I
season,
know.
flu season, all of those
Mhm.
yucky germs that are kind of going
Oh
around.
no. And like I said, guys, any questions as we're going along, you can connect with Angel on LinkedIn. You can connect with me all over the place. I know, Angel, where else are you? You're all over too on social.
Yeah, so, well, actually, LinkedIn is what I call home base. That's
Yeah.
usually where I do a lot of my communications.
Mhm.
I'm under, Beauty and Beast in Biz, as well as we have a full page, Beauty and Beast in Business, and then a website,
Mhm.
beautyandbeastinbusiness.com. So
Mhm.
those are the three main places you can connect with me.
Oh, I love that. And so like I connected with you on LinkedIn, and
Hmm.
like right before we were getting started, I, shared one of your posts, like really stood out to me and really connected with me because I'm my nationality, my background is Puerto Rican. And so I was reading about your article, and I know you specifically mentioned that you were a brown tattooed woman, and some of the difficulties that you've had, climbing, the ladder, the ranks in your industry, or even carving out a new industry for yourself and the things that you're doing. And so that your article really just touched me, and I related to it so much. And that's why I reached out and connected with you. Um, and I just love all your posts. They're very powerful and very feminine. Like I love all your posts. And
Thank
so I
you.
was wondering if you could share a little bit, because I know your story will resonate with a lot of women. And if you can share a little bit about, that post and what you wrote about, like where you started, where the beginnings were, and to where you are now.
Sure. I find that I don't know how to show up any other way than me.
Mm-hmm.
Being very transparent, and that is a learned. That's something I learned after I turned 40. To be
Mm-hmm.
completely honest,
Mm-hmm.
prior to being 40, my whole idea of business was, how do I fit in? How
Mm-hmm.
do I fit into the box or fit into the spot that everybody else says I'm supposed to, so that I can reach that next level? And um I started out later in life as a businesswoman because I had my first child a week before I turned 19.
Mm-hmm.
And he had some medical needs. I took about, I'm going to say, a semester in college, and his medical needs were just too much for me to be able to balance it, as well as, I was just married. And so I stood home and raised my son. When he turned 3, I was 21. Um, I got pregnant with my second, and at 7 months pregnant, I got divorced. And so now I'm a single mom of two, with both having medical issues. She was born a little over 2 months early.
Mm-hmm.
And so it wasn't until they were, I'm going to say, kindergarten age, both of them in elementary school, that I decided to go back to school. Now, I was still working. I worked the night shift, which meant that my mom would come over. I would feed my babies dinner. I would bathe them. I would read them a story and get them into bed. And then I would head out to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I would work until about 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. I would come home. I would lay into bed until about 7:30 when the kids got up, and then I would get up and I would get them ready for school, do all of that, come
Mhm.
home, try to take a little nap, and I
Mhm.
worked that way until I was able to put myself through school and get a better job. So when I was in my 30s, I got a job in a mail room in an
Mhm.
insurance industry, and had no idea what claims, what insurance and risk and all of this stuff was, workers' compensation. I just knew I needed a job.
Mhm.
Funny story was I was an art major. And so I was an art major thinking I'm going to create, this beautiful artwork. I'm going to work at a museum. I end up in a job in business. Um, I do what I know how to do, which is work hard. And within about 6 months, they came in and was like, wow, hey, you're doing an amazing job. So they put me on a desk.
Mhm.
So 3 years later, I am a senior claims adjuster. A year and a half after that, I am, excuse me, an operations manager, helping a company create a program in the whole state of California. And a couple of years after that, now I'm a risk manager. And so all of that really came through on how hard I work, making sure I dedicated and making sure that every morning when I got up, my thought was, who am I going to help today?
Mhm.
Well, throughout that, it wasn't an easy, it sounds like it's easy. Oh, Angel, she just bounced 2 years, 2 years.
Mhm.
No, it took a lot of 50, 60-hour work
Mhm.
weeks. It took
Mhm.
balancing, that and my kids. And lots of hard work and a lot of no's. People who were like, no, you don't really fit in. No, we like you where
Mhm.
you're at. A lot of no's that I had to transition out of. And then it was, well, you only have a bachelor's degree. You got to get a master's. So in 14 months, I went and got a master's degree. I was running a company for, the state of California and, or sorry, in the state of California and raising my kids. And then they were like, oh, well, we still like you where you are. Right.
Mhm.
So right now, I kind of liken this to 25, 30 years ago. People would not hire me because they said, "Oh, you have no work experience. You were a mom. You only have a high school diploma." Now, I have done so much and people go, well, you're overqualified. You might not really reach this, right?" And a lot of underlying, I'm going to say, information that comes through in people's voices and body language is I don't fit the mold. And again, a lot of that also becomes I am very transparent. I am a brown woman, and that's what they see first.
Mhm.
I am very open and ethical. And if I'm going to put my name on something, it needs to be amazing.
Mhm.
But I also show up in my tattoos. So I may show up in a business suit, but if it gets hot, I'm not going to be embarrassed to take my jacket off,
Mhm.
and recognize that the people that are there, instead of looking at my outer appearance, looking at what are my expertise, what am I teaching
Mhm.
you, or what am I helping you through? So we see a lot of that, and in the insurance world and risk world, there is 5% Hispanic and Latinos. And there is less than 3% that actually make it to executive levels.
Mhm.
So when people look at me and go, oh, that doesn't matter anymore. Tattoos, they're normal. Brown people, Black people, they're normal. My question to them is when we take a look at the statistics, why are we less than 10%?
Mhm.
Whether you're Black, you're Asian, you're Latino, right?
Mhm.
Um, why are we less than 10%? So there is that vision. And I tell people if we walked around and everybody was blind, we wouldn't have this issue.
Mhm. Right. If you agree with that, give her some thumbs, give her some hearts for that. Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
Susan, so many cannot see
Yeah.
the depths. I agree with you. Um, I like to tell a story when I come in to do a lot of DE&I discussions, across the US, is I walk them through a day and I mention, they're going to a conference, you call an Uber and, all of these things throughout the day. And then I ask them, what did that Uber driver look like? Was that pilot a middle-aged Black woman?
Mhm.
and then people go, oh my God, that's not what I pictured. And that's really the story of what we expect to see of people. And when
Mhm.
we don't see that, how easily we can create a bias
Mhm.
or a distance with them. And so for me, I tell people we all have it, right? We grew up, we have experiences, and that creates what our thought process is. But it's not
Mhm.
until we recognize that and not shame ourselves, not blame ourselves, not beat ourselves up, but go, you know what? Something in my past brings this to me. So every time I think this thought, I got to go, well, hold up, Angel. That's not true. Right. And
Mhm.
then you create friendships and you create better relationships with people that way, so that the more friends of color you have, the more organizations that you get involved with, the more travel that
Mhm.
you do and you see how other people live in cultures and music and food,
Mhm.
the more we can appreciate people and start to recognize that it's not on the exterior. That's just,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? That's just kind of like clothing. What we're looking at is really what is in our mind, what is in our heart, and what is our
Mhm.
intent.
I love that. Yeah. Ah, so the things that make somebody up, right? It's really getting
Mhm.
to the soul of the person. Oh my goodness. I love that. And excuse me, caramba. When I think about like when I was finishing my residency and my clinicals, I was going to these big board meetings at these huge hospitals. And I never once walked into a room where I saw anybody that looked like me, anybody that was Spanish, anybody that was Black, anybody that was Asian, even a woman. Let's go even there, even a woman. And it was horrible. And it was sometimes like the way I was treated was, not that I was like finishing my doctorate. It was like, oh, well, who is that? Or they don't even look at you, they don't even talk to you. Like, it's so incredible, and I'm very much like a friendly, outgoing person, and it's like
Me too.
to be to get that, it's like was like, wow, and it was very different for me, and that's why when I look at like even my degree that I received, like I'm less than 1% of the 1% of the people that get the degree that I got. And it's a shame. It's so sad. And that's why I love making videos and being online and connecting with people and sharing my story, because that way I feel like I can have other people look to me for, inspiration, look to me for advice, look to me for mentorship. Like, you're not the only, what does it
Let's
say?
see.
What does it
It,
say?
the crown don't come for free. And so I created this with my Beauty and Beast in Business. It's online. It's on my website. But I talk about that because I say we are all queens. We have to be like we
Mhm.
reign. We have to be our main character. We have to
Mm,
reign over our lives, our
mhm,
careers. And so, but the thing is, the crown that we wear, it doesn't come from for free. We
mm,
pay for it. We pay for it with sweat. We pay for it with time. We pay for it with blood. And,
mhm,
that really is an understanding. And I have to actually do a shout out to a lot of male allies that I have, because when I started Beauty and Beast in Business, and it was really focused, and we do focus on
mhm,
the safety, we focus on the growth for women. What was happening was I had some amazing men out there that were coming up, and they were like, hey, Angel, you know what? My wife is in the industry, or my girls are in school, and
mhm,
you're fighting to open doors that they're going to benefit from. Like, we want to
mhm,
sponsor, or we want to speak, or we want to, we want to be part of
mhm,
however you want us to be part of that. And so that's the reason why in the insurance industry, how I have the co-ed, because, you know, we are one, I tell women, we are 51% of the working group.
mm,
Okay. 51%. Yet you can see us all over the place. People are like, women work all over, until you hit a director, executive level and above. That's where
mhm,
it quickly drops to 10, 5, 3%.
right.
Okay. And then if you're a woman of color, it's even more.
Mhm,
And so for me, I love welcoming our allies. I love
mhm,
welcoming those people out there. I don't care what color they are. I don't care what gender that they are, or that,
mhm,
whoever they are. If you come, what I call same
mm,
hearted, I don't want, like minded, because that just means that there's everybody's thinking the same damn way. If you come like-minded, where is the diversity if everybody's thinking the same way? I
Right.
want you to come like-hearted. And like-hearted means that you come honest, you come with kindness and an intent to be a positive impact. Period.
Mm,
Now, if you
mhm,
could do that, my arms are open, our doors are open,
mhm,
and we fill events 100, 200, 250 people, men and women. Those are the people that I'm thankful for because they see that there's a need to come together and share information and
mm,
support one another and empower one another, right? And not the vice versa, which is control or belittle or judge. And right now I'm having a hard time because I was so excited this year. I really, really was trying to put together a event in Puerto Rico.
ooh, okay.
And the goal was, let's honor some Latinos in business and
Mhm,
how they impact finance and risk and business, and have some, amazing speakers. Getting the financial support for sponsorship, I'm like, what happened to DE&I, guys? You guys have DE&I dollars. Like, why are you not coming out to help this, right?
mhm,
Getting people to attend, they're like, well, I don't know. And, the other thing someone told me is, Angel, you're very open. So when we like your post or when we comment on your post, our whole network knows and we're kind of not sure. And I'm like, when are we going to come together and go, you know what? We are just supporting one another because we believe in one another.
mhm,
So I'm a little sad about that because I'm not exactly sure if it's going to be able to come to fruition.
mhm,
And for me, I even had people, and this
mhm,
is the other thing, I had people say, Angel, Puerto Rico,
mhm.
why are you going, out of the country? And I'm like, out of the country? Puerto Rico is part of the US, right?
Yeah.
Or why are, like, what is the somebody asked me, what is the monetary exchange? I'm like, dollar for dollar, it's US. I'm like, guys, it's
Oh,
less
no.
than 3 hours from New York or
Mhm,
Florida, right?
yeah.
So I think, and my thing is, so my grandfather was from Puerto Rico.
Mhm,
And so I thought, you know what? I want to do something there, especially with all of the hurricanes that have been hit. How do we go there and we help our brothers and sisters, our brown brothers and
mhm,
sisters in the US, in a US paradise? We're talking about beach, sun, tropical,
mhm,
like this
yeah.
is amazing. But I'm having a really hard time actually, gathering in the professionals that say, yes, let's have a summit. Let's
Mhm,
go. Let's, so
yeah.
we'll see if that's how that's
Well
going to turn out.
well, we'll see. We'll never know who will listen to this and who will see it. So if you're watching this and you can help her out, help her out. Yeah, definitely. Ay, caramba, my voice is leaving me. Holy moly. Yeah, if anybody's watching this and or you know somebody who's connected to somebody, definitely send them her way so that way she can get this up off the ground because yeah, no, Puerto Rico's not another country. It's the US. Oh my gosh. So you just kind of touched on it and because I was going to wrap it up with what projects you have coming up, but it seems like that's kind of one that you're really wanting to get up and going. Is there anything else or anything in your business that you're really excited about for 2023 coming up?
Yeah, we have an amazing 2-day event that is coming up in August. We'll be in
Mhm.
Southern Cal and Carlsbad. So we're expecting probably 300 professionals there,
Wow.
which is amazing. We are doing our quarterly Latinx Leaders event in California, where we're getting together and anywhere from 20 to 50. And we're getting together and we're talking about different Latin cultures and what does that mean? And what does it mean to be a Latino who doesn't speak Spanish versus a Latino who does? And we
Ooh.
talk about colorism and we talk
Mhm.
about all of that. And then also our virtual women's calls. Those are national, they're free. We're having them on a monthly basis, the second Friday of every month. And
Mhm.
every businesswoman is welcome because that is, again, our safe space to
Mhm.
talk about. We share resumes, we share
Mhm.
open jobs, We have some fun. We share wins, small and large, and then we end with a raffle. So somebody wins something that I get to send off, which is either, a piece of jewelry or an amazing empowerment book or whatever,
Mhm.
just something to let them know that they're loved.
Oh, I love that. Yes, I love that. Yeah, girl, you better give me them links to that so I can go to
And
the
Susan, thank you so much for,
Yeah,
being here with us. We appreciate
yeah.
you.
Yeah, Susan, thank you so much. Yeah, I love her. She's awesome too. Put a couple of her posts up there. Yeah. So, and I think you already touched on where we can find you, and LinkedIn is kind of the place to find you. So if you're watching this or listening, definitely head over to LinkedIn. I put her link to connect with you. I put it in the description, so it is there, so you can find it in the description. Or if not, just send either. You'll find us. Type us in. Search us. Everybody knows how to use Google. You find us. All right, Angel. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here today and sharing a little bit about you. And definitely, we'll have to do like a part two, a follow up after you have some of your events and other things to catch up and see how things are going. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Mama.
All right, Mija, thank you so much, and love you, and have a Merry Christmas.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Mama. And I think that's actually going to end our show. I'm good with this. I feel complete. All right, guys. Like I always say, for a balanced life, just add spice. We'll catch you for